I hope my audio sounds good today. I'm taking a chance because the birds are singing and I want to be able to hear it. We're both indoor and outdoor, about 67 degrees here at 8 o'clock. Cape Cod, I believe, has some of the nicest weather in New England, if not the East. Not too cool. We're going out the screen slider. Not too warm. There's been a wind shift overnight. The air is coming in from the northeast today. Almost the exact opposite of yesterday. How's my audio? The sky is blue and white. The white is smoke. Yesterday there were some reports of some real thick smoke at ground level in Massachusetts. Not so much on Cape Cod. It was pretty nice down here. It got very windy during the day. Mostly song sparrows. There are clouds though on the horizon, on the northern horizon. There are some fairly significant boundaries in the atmosphere. Yesterday we talked about the challenge between the high pressure to our south with the warm air and the high pressure to our north with the cool air. Well, the high pressure to the north is taking over, but the warm air is going to put up resistance, and that's going to create rain. First of all, the regional temperature and wind roundup this morning, and dew point also. And the air coming in from the north. Boston's still around 64 degrees. The dew point falling through the 50s into the 40s, and the dew point in Rangeley, Maine, where the temperature is in the 40s this morning, the dew point is in the 30s. In northern Maine, the look and feel of September this weekend. I didn't say the date, did I? It's Friday, June 13th, Friday the 13th. And here comes another weekend. And for those keeping score, the last dry weekend in New England was February 22nd and 23rd. I think that maybe we're at 15 weeks since then. And it was very cold, and we had a lot more snow since then. And it's not going to snow. However, I am interested to see that the 540 line is not going to be far away from us. That cold enough for snow up in the sky is just keeps showing up as we move into summer. It's been climatological summer now for, well, this is day 13, and then the summer solstice is next Friday, week away. And we have lots of weather challenges. Let's go to the, well, speaking of weather challenges, and it's always worse somewhere else department. You know, yesterday we dealt with the smoke in New England from the fires in Canada. How about this image Brooks Garner shared from South Florida today? That's not smoke. That's dust from blowing off the Sahara Desert in Africa. Oh, a yellow finch just flew by. I missed it. Yeah, so here's the satellite image showing the dust plume coming right across the Atlantic Ocean, and doesn't show up that well on the satellite, but it is making its way to South Florida. And while we're on satellites, why don't we show the satellite of the Northeast, where most of New England is in the clouds this morning, the exception being here on Cape Cod and also in northern Maine, where you can see the smoke mostly to the east of New England now. So we're getting the clouds to come in to kind of hide the smoke and maybe wash it out with some raindrops. There are rain showers coming across near Toronto this morning in southern Ontario. The front has settled south of New England this morning, so we're on the cooler side of the front. With the sunshine today, we should still be able to get to 70 in a lot of spots, and 70s, cooling at the beach as the wind increases a bit from the north and east as high pressure goes to our north. And here's the radar. Show the wide, big picture radar, because there is some flash flooding there in northeastern South Dakota, and you can make out that rain kind of moving along the tracks right along this boundary, pointed right into New England, where there was some virga this morning, raindrops coming out of the sky in central New England, but the air below that rain is below that rain cloud is fairly dry, so most of us not getting any raindrops today, at least not immediately. What's next? The weekend is next, Tim. Let's go to the NAM high-res model and show when and where it may rain. Talk about the thermal packing here, the tight red lines with cool air. In far northern New England, the thickness is 546, while the thickness in southern New England is 564. We're mostly dry today. The clouds are thickening up. The air is going to come in more from the north and east in a lot of spots. And here we are tonight after dark. We see a few showers developing. And now it looks like we've almost got a triple track bands of rain from west to east, with just plain chilly rain across Vermont, New Hampshire, much of Maine, not northern Maine, and then some specks of, looks like, convection across from about Albany, New York to about Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and then another band of perhaps a little bit more intense rain from about Long Island to just south of Nantucket. So 3 layers of rain coming from west to east. Very difficult to say that it's not going to rain, say in Nashua, New Hampshire, or Boston. Well, it is going to rain in Concord and Portland. It's not going to rain in Providence, but it is going to rain in Martha's Vineyard. You can't really do it like that. So anybody is vulnerable to rain first thing tomorrow, and then by about 2 or 3 o'clock, there it goes, offshore. So the rain is going to let up tomorrow afternoon if it's raining at your house, but the air is going to be fairly chilly, and the temperature and dew point will be fairly close together, so most of us are going to stay cloudy. And here at the south coast, where dew points may still be near 60, we may end up sticking with fog and drizzle and chilly weather right through tomorrow and into Sunday. There's Sunday. And by Sunday 2 p.m., most of us are dry, but there are these little green specks around, and that indicates the possibility for low clouds, fog, and drizzle in a lot of spots, especially along the coast from Cape Cod to Maine, with the air still coming in from the east-northeast. There's high pressure over Maine. You can't really see it, but that's about a 1022 high. And I don't know if you noticed it, but the 540 line was going across Maine tonight and tomorrow. It's the cold enough for snow up in the sky, but it's dry in northern Maine, so it's just going to look and feel like September. From Mount Katahdin points north, you want to get away from any heat. And we're not going to see much heat over the next week. It's going to try and come back in about a week. Here's the Boston meteogram showing that in more the red line, blue line, day by day. And there's the temperature today, still in the 70s, attempting the 70s in Boston, especially just away from the coast, and the dew point line going down. And then there are the raindrops tomorrow morning. Now, I didn't show the QPF on that NAM because it's almost useless, but some spots could get a ½ inch of rain, and the Euro actually has a ½ inch of rain in Boston between midnight and noon tomorrow, with the temperature holding about 60 tomorrow and not too much sunshine, and then trying to brighten it up on Sunday. This is the Boston area. Yankees in town against the Red Sox. You're going to need hats and long sleeve, at least shirts, if not light jackets, at Fenway. And then the wind is still from the east on Monday into Tuesday. We're starting to gradually warm it up. Temperatures going back into the 70s by Tuesday, maybe, and the dew point's going up. And then by Wednesday, the dew point's climbing through the 60s. And by Wednesday night and Thursday, we're spiking with a dew point in the low 70s and a temperature in the 80s on Thursday, before another front comes in here now for the summer solstice. This is really a moving target, and it shows thunderstorms here next Friday. That's June 20th. What else did I want to show? Some input from everybody yesterday. I really appreciate the images. And Ryan on top of Mount Washington, where it was not hot yesterday and the winds were 50 miles an hour. Thank you, Ryan, for sharing that cool shot from the top of Mount Washington with sustained winds in the 50s, and you walking on the observatory deck in front of the camera. Good form, Ryan. Good form. I love that. So it's not going to snow on Mount Washington, but it would be close because there is some colder air. To illustrate that, why don't we show the map I show a lot of times in the wintertime? Where is it cold enough for snow? At 850 millibars, where it's freezing. 850 millibars, it would be about 5,000 feet up in the sky. And the blue is cold enough for snow. And there it is taking a swipe at New England tonight and tomorrow. There's the boundary with that cold air from Canada pushing down, and so dry in northern Maine it's not snowing, but it would be cold enough if we had mountains of 6,000 feet. And then the yellow is kind of pleasant weather, and then you get into the orange. Now you're talking summertime warmth in the 80s. Whenever you see red, and especially there in the middle of the country, that sort of bright red, it turns into white or silver. That's temperatures near 100. So as you approach summer solstice, you have temperatures near 100 in the middle of the nation, and waves of energy coming east along the boundary, and we try and warm it up a little bit, and then you see another cooler air mass taking a swipe at us about next Thursday or so, and then come in and on the solstice. Most of us are hot across most of the nation. And then next weekend, there's that blue showing up north of New England again on Saturday into Sunday. This is now June 22nd. That's as far as we go, 240 hours. And there's the blue just north of New England. And the hot is just southwest of us. And it looks like we're right in the middle with pretty nice weather. And as long as you stay near that boundary between the hot and the cold, you're going to get rain every few days or so. And how about the check on the latest drought status for New England? Something I don't show that much because I've been thinking, how can we possibly be in a drought? Well, now it's official. Most of New England is no longer in a drought. There's some abnormally dry with those little yellow spots there in southeastern Massachusetts and the coast of Maine. And if you look really closely right here from Bass River and points east, supposedly we are still in a moderate drought. Okay, well, I don't think it took into account that 1.7 inches of rain we had. And if you look around at these lawns, there's no irrigation on here. Does it look like a drought? I don't think so. And I didn't empty the rain bucket from the other day yet, and there's still 2 inches of water in there. It has not evaporated. So we are not in a drought. That little section of the yard right there. Thank you for the comments on what kind of grass we have growing around here. That little section of the yard is all natural green. So we are having green grass now. And there's more shower and thunderstorm activity in the forecast, and that NAM that was kind of so optimistic. I didn't show the QPF for the NAM, so why don't we take a quick look at that? And I'm not going to put it in motion. I'll just show you those stripes across parts of northern New England, and some dry across very little rain, supposedly along Route 2 into Boston, I-90. But the Euro has much more rain than that in that section, so you can't really take this verbatim. And it shows the heavier rain also south of Long Island to south of Nantucket, with the south coast picking up less than 1/4 of an inch. I'll take the over on the rainfall in the next 24 hours. And let's go to the Euro now, and it will show us the bigger picture pattern, that high pressure in southeastern Canada taking over, beautiful in northern Maine, strips of rain coming across with the low pressure system passing just south of New England tomorrow, with the rain kind of letting up late in the day. So evening plans should be much drier tomorrow. And then on Sunday, it shows pretty much optimistic that the sun's coming out, especially away from the ocean, where the air will be moving a little bit more from the north and northwest than east and northeast. And then so Sunday's looking okay. I'm not sure we're going to break the low clouds though, and fog, as I said, from the coasts of really from Connecticut to Cape Cod to Maine. And then Monday, that system that we've been watching, it's been a moving target. It's clearly trended far enough south that it spares us the rain. The rain's headed more for the Chesapeake Bay area and moving south of New England, but that would keep our flow from the east and southeast, at least in southern New England. Northern New England, we're starting to see the wind come around from the southwest on Tuesday as a warm front's coming at us. It does not look like a clean transition back into the warm and hot air the second half of next week, because there's a pretty strong low. What is that, 998? I should have talked more about that yesterday, coming out of the Great Lakes states with quite a kink in the upper level flow. There's a little short wave coming at us, and on Thursday those will look like pretty hefty thunderstorms as we try to warm up back into the 80s to near 90. The dew points in the low 70s, very uncomfortable next Thursday. That's been a Thursday thing, hasn't it? Well, not on the warm side, but the Thursday have been quite wet except for the last 2 weeks. And then Friday, that's the solstice, and we have a boundary right over us with showers and thunderstorms, and it looks like cooler air trying to come at us. I mean, the 570 line sinking just to the south, and that would bring in drier air, less humid, but still warm from Canada next Saturday, if this Euro is right. Oh, please be right. And then Sunday is June 22nd, and at that point, you do see the 570 right over us, but it's kind of an unstable 570. There's still kind of a low barometer, but it looks like the flow would be from southeastern Canada, so I would guess it would be warm, less humid, and very smoky at that point, if this is accurate for the day 10, 240 hours. That's 8 p.m. on June 22nd, and there is the 540 line, again, north of New England, and in the southwestern Canada, it's still showing that wintry mix at highest elevations, where Washington State meets British Columbia and Alberta. So that, as long as we get that sort of anomalous cold in Canada and the anomalous heat across the south and central United States, we're going to have a fairly damp pattern going into summertime with fronts every 2 or 3 days. That would prevent drought, and that would prevent heat waves in New England if we can keep this pattern going. So let's do that. Let's keep this pattern going into July. Keep green grass, and we'll have hot weather but not heat waves, and we're just going to break that habit of fronts coming in every Saturday. Weather has rhythm, and we are not liking that rhythm, but I am liking this right now. So the weather part is done, and lots of tree work was done in the neighborhood yesterday. And those people with the saws, the Johnson Tree Company, the saws in one hand and the branch in the other hand, and dropping the heavy lumber on the mats right over there. It still looks like there are a lot of trees, but there are 3 huge trees that are now gone. And changed my zoom. I'm using my iPhone microphone, so it changes how I sound. And we spent a lot of time on Bass River. First water test of the year with Charlie Neves for Friends of Bass River, and we did some work down in our swimming area yesterday. And there are blue crabs, sightings of parts of blue crabs that the birds catch and drop the claws. And so blue crabs are in, and there's word that was a keeper striper caught in Fallon's Pond in the last week or so. So fish are here, the crabs are here, there's still smoke in the sky. We have a nice Friday, barefoot, and we're going back to find Steve and T-Rex and Mitt today after some more chores. Lots of chores, but it's no complaints when you're doing your chores out here on beautiful Cape Cod, where the traffic is getting kind of nutty out there, but here in this little neighborhood, it's quite nice. I appreciate your viewership. I hope you have a good Friday, and we'll be back with more tomorrow. Here's and more for today. Let's go out this door. Not even 9 o'clock in the morning. Just finished editing. Gorgeous Thursday and more for our Friday. About 70 degrees. We get some noise. We get some progress being made in the increasing sunshine department across the street. Let's go get a closer look. Can you hear me now? So you got these mats they drop the logs on, not to damage the ground. Nice. Oh yeah. Practice. And then from the tree work decades ago department, sometimes the tree grows right around the wire, and that's been from a long time ago right there. Dead wood up there. The gall wasps, the winter moths, the gypsy moths have been doing a lot of damage to our trees. Although it's pretty healthy up on the canopy anyway. So growing up here, the oaks were pretty small when we were kids. They've taken over. I think they regrew after the hurricanes in the 30s and 40s. So it was all these pitch pines, we called them. And that's one of the last in the neighborhood here. Another one, 2 over there. Our yard was filled with them before when we were kids. They're mostly gone now, mostly oaks. This one's really old and over the power line, so it's gotta go. Tricky game there over the power lines. I'm gonna go get the other side so the sun is better lighting. I think the official word may be black pine. I'm not sure. It's pine, whatever. Let's see him sculpt the top apart here. It's just about 10:20 a.m. Gorgeous Cape Cod morning. Already feels like about 80 degrees. fascinating. So meticulous. I gotta go test the water though. On to the next and more. Water testing on Bass River. I want a truck like that. Am I too old? He's using the saw with one hand and pushing the tree with the other. Oh, I gotta leave. I got another appointment. Darn. Get the proximity though between here and the power lines. Man up high is waiting for man down low not to be in the way. TK's gotta go. Alright, when we come back, that tree will be gone. They got a stump grinder with them, and this tree is also coming down. Look at the power lines on this one. I'll be back. On the other side of the pond with a tree that is so pretty. Look at that dogwood. Japanese maples. Should hear a barking dog and see Charlie. Tim's here. It's got an Alfa Romeo in there, some kind of fancy car like that. Todd and Rob, 23 and 24. We get some new cool looking gate markers. And that's Fallon's Pond, dead ahead. Water testing season 2025. It's in Bass River. Cape Cod Bay monitoring, nope. Provincetown Coastal Studies. So we've adapted it for Friends of Bass River 2022, 23, 24, and now 2025. Be sure your YSI device is calibrated.
It is.
It is. How about if we calibrate this weather and keep it all summer? This is gorgeous.
Yeah.
The tide is just right, fairly low. So right over there is one of the trees coming down. Surprised we can't hear him. So that's Dennis. This is Bass River, Fallon's Pond, Site 2 in the testing. And Charlie, Nevs and I have been testing now for, I think, this may be our 4th year. Look at that license plate. License plate says go-to GY. What's that mean?
Right? That's the go-to guy.
Who's the go-to guy?
That's me from, I had a jingle on the radio locally, and I had a guy, Harry Barton from Nashville, write the jingle.
What's your name?
Mike Karras.
Mike
William Ravis.
Karras.
Karras.
And I went to school with a Ted Karras.
Ted Karras is my brother.
Oh my goodness. From the Small World Department.
Yeah,
and how did you meet Al?
Al, actually, I'd known Al for a long time. He was a client of mine, and they were looking for a house here in Dennis, and eventually looking to make the Cape, which they have. They made the Cape their
So you brought him to our neighborhood?
Pretty much brought him to
All
our neighborhood.
right.
Yeah, he's to blame.
We appreciate that a lot.
Sorry.
He is a good worker. I used to see what he does down the beach, and like he does more in an hour than we can do in 6.
Yeah, Al's a mover and a shaker.
And he also likes to make waves. Good waves.
Hey, what's going on?
Small World Department.
Yep, absolutely.
So we still have Peony here, and I'm walking over because transitions. It's so fun seeing friends I haven't met. I went to school with his brother Ted all that time, and we're looking over at that oak tree above the power lines now. And this guy with the chainsaw, he's got a chainsaw in one hand. He grabs the branch with the other hand to make sure he doesn't hit the wires. He's a tree surgeon. Been at it now since 9 o'clock, so 4 or 5 hours. So let's go over there, and way too much and more today, huh? And you see Mike's shirt? Look at that. One hand. He is strong. Missed the wires. Toss it away from the wires. All right, those pine trees are gone. That oak tree was pruned. The stumps have been ground. And now carefully working around the wires with this oak is going to completely come down also. But we have other things to do today. We're going down the beach, working on this side of the Fallon's Pond next. That one hand on the branch, one hand on the saw. Awesome. All right. Time to go down to the beach. Yeah. To the beach. Let's go. Onshore breeze. I don't know why we picked the windiest days to do these projects. Can you even hear me? Osprey was up there. Kevin has his Friends of Bass River hat on. Choosing not to try and attach the ladder in this wind. It'd be futile. This is some of the stuff coming off the raft. So blue crabs are in, and what's that vertebrae? Something. You think it was marine life or someone's barbecue? The osprey are hunting around here, but I can't seem to get them on video. So we put some of our bowls in today. You got some yellow ones, some red ones, and the whirl thing. Doug, there it goes. Working in the wind right now anyway. And the sun's going over the trees. What a long day of achievements, really. The final act was trying to save a holly. So we saved this one last year. Dad planted. That's a holly full of berries. That's a female. I pulled all the bittersweet out of it last year, and it seems to be doing okay. And I thought I pulled all the bittersweet out of this one, the male, last year. And the vines, look at that. They pulled out of the ground all the way down to here for feet and feet and feet, trying to save this holly. It's practically as old as I am. What a project. The roots just go on and on and on forever. Fun, good workout. And here come the altocumulus waves as the sun goes down. I am not going down to the beach. We've already been to the beach. Let's go look at the last iris blossom right there. And the peony still coming. That's so nice. And we still get some asparagus. I was kind of surprised. I wonder if that rain a couple days ago gave it a jolt. So asparagus for dinner. And sea scallops and steak, in case you were wondering. And Anna, I did till this, and I'm going to rake it out. And your potatoes just continue to come up. So we've already got potatoes growing here. Plenty of mint and garlic over there too. And a setting sun over Bass River. Play it out now. Time lapse over Bass River. It was so smoky, not on Cape Cod today. We'll see in a second, but over Weymouth. Some images of the strawberry moon coming in. I'm not sure if I lifted one or not. Hopefully we saw that this morning already in our Friday out the door. In case I forget, all these wild strawberries, they are blossoming here. I don't know why the rabbits aren't eating these. Come on, focus. There we go. Scads of wild strawberries as they ripen, I'm sure. something will eat them. And our next blooms are going to be the daylilies and the tiger lilies over here in the rescue garden. I think these might be tiger lilies, taller, orange and black. And the Weymouth sunset. A lot of low-level smoke reported today. Linda in Princeton says it was burning the eyes. Wow. So there was more smoke down near the ground today than there was up in the higher altitudes. Very good. That's it for today. Definitely Steve and T-Rex tomorrow. Promises, promises. Thanks for watching. Talk to you tomorrow.